Welcome to Expatriate Connections. Hi, I'm Kim Manasseh, and these are my co-hosts, Sarah Avastelius, Ayushi Thenda, Michael Guichard, and Mark Prenti. On today's show, we have the pleasure to speak with Mr. Shane Michael Lewis, who will be joining us via Skype from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Good evening, Mr. Lewis. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Sarah.
To start off, can you tell us a little about yourself?
My name is Shane Lewis, originally from Ohio. I graduated from Kent State University with a degree in political science in 2005. At the time, there was the requirement, the foreign language requirement for all Bachelor of Arts and Science majors. There was a program that Kent State offered where I could study abroad in Mexico, in Cuernavaca, Mexico, for a month, and that covered my last year requirements. So, I got to see another country for a month and get those foreign language requirements under my belt, right? And so that's where it all began, really, my adventure in Mexico.
How long have you lived in Mexico, Mr. Lewis?
Going on 4.5 years now. We went to Mexico to study Spanish, with the intention of becoming bilingual, and then using that as another tool to help me get into a good law school, right? Ended up changing my mind about going back to the States to study law, and I started studying law here 2 years ago.
What work are you currently doing there in Puerto Vallarta?
I work in real estate. I've gone back and forth from I started off in a legal office kind of as an intern. I managed an office in Cuernavaca and learned how to I built a website for that law firm to help promote the firm's services to foreigners in Mexico. And, we ended up bringing in a lot of foreign clientele to the firm because of that.
What challenges did you face when you first arrived in Mexico?
When I first moved to Mexico, like I said, Spanish was not my forte in my undergrad, and so I was pretty much mute. I mean, the language barrier was a huge challenge. But then just the unknowns, it's a new world. It was a new world. You're constantly kind of looking over your shoulder because everything's new. And it takes a while for you to get accustomed and just feel comfortable, right?
What differences have you noticed between the work environments in Mexico and the U.S.?
It's much more laid back, much more personable. There's not as many artificial barriers, I think, between there. I mean, we socialize a lot, right? I mean, it's not unusual for a new intern or somebody to go out and have drinks with the boss down here. It's a much more lax culture in that. I mean, there's basically two Mexicos. There's Mexico City and there's the rest. Mexico City is just like New York City. I mean, people work 10, 12-hour days. Their commute to and from work 3 hours a day. So it's a grind there, and it's just as difficult of a work environment in Mexico City as anywhere in the States. But Mexico as a whole, I'm in Puerto Vallarta. It's a small town. It's on the coast. Here, things are very relaxed. You very rarely see people with a suit and tie in Puerto Vallarta. Even your attorneys and doctors and what have you. It's a very relaxed environment.
What skills or tools do you believe have helped you or your company succeed there?
Obviously, in real estate, the reason I chose Puerto Vallarta is there's a lot of foreigners that own property in Puerto Vallarta. So just being an American really has helped me because they trust me. I mean, they don't. It's not as difficult for them to build up that level of trust with me because I can relate to them very quickly. Just me being an American and I'm serving Americans it definitely helped. And then obviously being bilingual now as well.
Close proximity to the United States is considered one of Mexico's business strengths, but also one of its weaknesses because of the negative effects it can experience with downturns in the U.S. economy like we're having now. As a specialist in real estate, can you tell us how the housing crisis here in the United States has affected the real estate industry there?
Severely to an extent. I mean, Americans really haven't been buying the last 2 or 3 years. Well, Mexicans are buying and Canadians are buying. Just recently, the last couple of months, Americans have started investing again in property in Mexico, but it affected it quite a bit. Now, the thing that the Mexicans have going in their favor is that the mortgage industry is not nearly as advanced here. 85 to 90% of the homes in Mexico are owned outright, right? So they're either inherited or the people basically buy a plot of land and they build as they can afford to build, right? They don't go and take out a loan for $500,000 and build a home and then spend the rest of their lives paying that off. You're not seeing the price reductions like you're seeing in Vegas and Florida, but definitely, the economy, it did slow things down for sure.
You mentioned you were studying law there. In what ways do Mexico and the United States differ in regards with education?
Well, the middle class in Mexico is just exploding, right? And the same as it has been in the States for years. Families, they want their kids to grow up and go to college, right? And they'll do whatever it takes to make that happen, right? I've seen lots of families that friends of mine at school. I mean, the family will go without in certain things to make sure that they get that education. So education is very highly valued here. As far as colleges go, it's much more privatized. As a whole, there's not a lot of great public institutions, but the private market is, the private educational schools or universities have picked up the slack there. It's big business. I mean, education is big business in Mexico.
How big of an influence do the national and local governments play on your day-to-day life?
As a foreigner, you have to apply for your immigration status, right? So you have to do that every year to renew that. And I mean, you could say that's a huge factor because there's always the chance that they deny you your permission. But in the end, Mexico is looking out for their best interest. I work in sales and I'm studying Mexican law. So it's in Mexico's interest as a country to have somebody like me here because I help encourage more Americans and Canadians to invest in Mexico. But it really day-to-day life, not so much, I guess. No. You do see lots of the police force out and about on the streets, which is both a good and bad thing. I mean, it's a reminder that we're living through kind of tough times because of the drug issue. But it's good that they're there, I guess. I mean, it does help us feel a little bit more secure. But you see all levels. You see federal police, state police. Even anymore, you see even some soldiers. But Puerto Vallarta, we've had very little issues with that whole situation. So we're kind of blessed with that, and hopefully that stays the same, right? For all of us involved with the market down here.
We have found that Mexico has high levels of corruption and bribery. Have you encountered these types of situations?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that's one of the things, more than anything, that's what's holding Mexico back. I mean, Mexico has tremendous potential. They have lots of natural resources. I mean, they have a well-educated population base, strong family values. There's lots of reasons for hope for Mexico, but yeah, corruption is at all levels, and it's not really just the drug issue that's causing the corruption. It's just it's always been a part of Mexican political culture, I guess. So it's something they're still struggling with. There is a movement to try to correct that, and maybe in our lifetime that it will get sorted out. But I think bribery exists in the States, just a different type of bribery, right? Much higher end, higher price tag.
What do you like most about living and working in Mexico, and why?
The sunshine is great. The constant daily dose of vitamin D helps keep a smile on my face, and the food is huge. It's definitely one of the things I would miss the most. And the Mexican people are, all in all, I mean, they're very kind-hearted people. I mean, they've really made me feel right at home, and yeah, I think that basically sums it up: the climate, the food, and the people.
Based on your experience, what advice would you give to those who are going to live and work in Mexico?
Just go into it eyes wide open. Obviously, get the language down. I think that was one of the things that I wish I would have had upon arrival. Be open-minded. Don't hold on to your old ways too firmly because you'll just get frustrated, right? Just be open to learning new ways to go about your life while you're here. When in Rome, I guess. That's the old saying goes. Do as they do here, and just kind of go with the flow.
Thank you for sharing your experiences with us.
Sure. If you ever have any friends that are coming to the area and they need legal help or they're looking for a home, be sure to have them look me up.
Join in next time for an interesting interview with a Walmart executive. Have a great day.